This video here is just to provide some understanding on how to use the terminal server to be able to connect to the equipment in the lab. So when you connect to the terminal server, as we've done here, you want to go in and see what the hosts are. So here you can see that there's two pods. We have pod 1 and pod 2. So this way two students can do the work at the same time. So if you're assigned to pod 1, you're going to want to connect to pod 1's equipment. To do that, you just simply type in pod 1-PE1. That'll get you into pod 1. So let's do that. Okay, once we're in here and we're in a PE1, if we want to go back to the terminal server, this is where we need to use the Cisco breakout sequence. To do that, there's actually a key combination, which is hold down the control button, shift, and the number 6, and then go ahead and release that, and then press X. When you press X, it'll bring you back to the terminal server. So that's Control Shift 6, hold those three down, then release it, and then press X. So let me just show you here on the instructions really quick. So you'll see here on part number 4, the proper sequence for breaking out of the sessions is to suspend the session with the key sequence Control Shift 6, release that, and then press X. Now, when you do that, like it says here, if you hit enter, it'll return you back to the router you were in. So if I just hit enter right now, it returns me back to PE1. So if I want to now, if I want to go back in now and open up PE2, I would just type in pod1-PE2. Hit enter, and Control Shift 6X brings me back. Now I can start logging into the customer equipment CE1A. You can just hit the up arrow CE1B and so forth, okay? So once you're here, you can do a show sessions. And a show sessions will show you all the sessions you have open. For me, I personally open all the sessions, PE1 to CE1A, 1B, and then CE2A and 2B. And then after that, I can just go back and forth. So you'll see now that there's a unique connection number in front of each of the hosts when you do the show session. So you'll see here we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. The asterisk next to the 1 just simply means that's the active connection. If you were to hit enter now, it would go ahead and drop you into pod 1 CE1B. So let's say that we wanted to connect back into PE1 and do more configuration there. We just type the number 1, press enter, and it'll drop us right back into PE1. Again, Control Shift 6, release, press X. And if you want to get into now PE2, press number 2, hit enter. That'll take you back. So if you decided that you wanted to close one, you could either just exit out of the terminal server, which will close all your connections, or you could just say disconnect whatever session number you wanted. So say we wanted to disconnect CE1B there, we just say disconnect 4, confirm it, and now you'll see it's gone. So that's pretty simple. The only thing's tricky, maybe just a couple times, work on that key sequence, Control Shift 6, release that, then press X, and just get used to that, and it should not be too hard. So I also going to include with this lab, um, basically what I told you here in the video is just in written inside of a Word document. So if you need that, ask your professor for it, and it should be fairly easy.